Hello and welcome to this another facts and date royal video. Now today we are doing a few people, mainly because they all had very short lives, and this is going to be the children of the Duke and Duchess of Clarence, who the last two royal facts and date videos that I've done have been about. So, these are the legitimate children of William and his wife Adelaide. Now, the first child they had together was a girl called Princess Charlotte of Clarence, who didn't even live 24 hours. She was born whilst they were over in Hanover, and they didn't even get time to have her christened, and so she died and she was buried over in Hanover. That was in the March of 1819. In the September of that year, they had his wife was pregnant again. This time the child was born premature because it had already died before birth, and so the medical surgeons they were in Dunkirk. They were travelling back to Britain, and they had to stop off, and the child was born deceased as well as premature, so it was buried without being named. Then in 1820, in the December of 1820, they gave birth to a seemingly healthy little princess who they called Princess Elizabeth of Clarence. And she was of course a little bit premature. The surgeons and doctors had said that she may have a few difficulties over the next couple of years developing, and so forth. But all in all, she was seemed to be strong from birth, and her parents had her christened as soon as they possibly could, and she managed to stay alive for around 12 weeks until the March of 1821, which of course caused great upset for her mother and father, not only losing their firstborn child, but that was a child that they couldn't come to name. A year later, in April of 1822, they gave birth to two stillborn twin boys, who unfortunately were also never named, but these were born over here in Britain and buried in Windsor Castle, or at the Royal Burial Ground. So, of course, this is very distressing not only for both of the parents, but it was, of course, distressing for the wider family, because up to this point, no one could really manage to raise legitimate children apart from George IV. And even then, his daughter had died whilst giving birth to her own child, who subsequently died. Now, this is of course an interesting story, because if any of these 2 or 4 or 5 children, had lived, they would have been before Queen Victoria in the line of succession. So she would have become queen king instead of Queen Victoria. So, and we could have had a much more interesting and much more vibrant royal family than we may have today. Or you never know, it could have just could have happened for a few more years and then reverted back to what we are fully aware of today. But I hope you have found this video interesting. If you have, and you would like to know more about any of the videos that I have done in this series, or any videos that I do, please, you can always contact me privately through YouTube, and I'll be more than happy to help. Thank you very much. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I shall see you next time. Goodbye.